No mind sharp, white people come take over back the country politically. That is really distressing. Given the amount of blood we shed, the amount of mothers will cry and bawl for them children to make South Africa end the apartheid regime. Only if we come say we have now villages of whites. Yes? We have villages of whites where no black no enter there. In South Africa, me I talk about. The government of Jamaica, Bustamante, from them time there, attack Rasta. Yeah, man. From them time there, he attack Rasta. And even though them wasn't called Rastafari at the time, it was the Oilites.
Said love my viewers and subscribers, Wagwan, open all doing good, open all doing great. Now my people, we're there again on the Soul Chat TV with another Mutabaruka content, and this one is the latest cutting edge as of Wednesday, June the 12th, the latest my people. And in this one, Mutabaruka cover a whole lot of topic, but the main topic was surrounding Rasta culture, the movement, and a great icon, Leonard Owell. Also, African people, South African people, to be specific, is in serious trouble. So, watch out. Also, a whole lot of interested topic cover in this one, my people. So definitely stay tuned because it's going to get really, really heated and also educational. So my people, before we get into it, you know it's a Black Power movement. So definitely drop a like and subscribe. Share to a friend or a family so they can be a part of the movement. Now my people, let's take a walk.
This is the cutting edge on IRFM. I will do next Wednesday night. Warm. You know, I get no cold time again arrive, you know, it's warm. But they are until 2 o'clock. I hope you can join me and stay with me until 2 o'clock. This is Mira Makiba, a click song. If you don't mind sharp, white people come take over, well, I say take over back at South Africa because them still have it in a certain way, but politically, if you don't mind sharp, white people come take over back the country politically. That is really distressing. Given the amount of blood we shed, the amount of mothers will cry and bawl for them children to make South Africa end the apartheid regime. Only if we come say we have now villages of whites. Yes? We have villages of whites where no black no enter there. In South Africa, me I talk about. White people set up them own laws in South Africa. Can you imagine if you go in Germany or France and black people set up them own law in a little part of France or Germany? That is, it come like Rome, it come like the Vatican City. Because the Vatican City, if you do it in Italy, but it's not governed by the Italian government. It is a state within itself. The Vatican City is the smallest country in the world, run by the Pope and him friend them. Can you imagine that? In South Africa, the thousands of black people were dead, jailed, murdered, and all these things. To come really say, white people come govern the country again because of some unscrupulous little black people who claim political leverage. The ANC was the government from 19 what since apartheid. And now it is struggling. It's struggling. It couldn't even get 50% of the vote them in South Africa the other day. It is struggling now. You see what going to happen, and I'm talking about coalition government. And the next party that have the most, other than the ANC, is a white party governed by a white man who is very, very apartheid in his outlook. And if you give him the chance, South Africa will be under white minority rule again. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Take the first break. Some serious drumming, man. Serious drumming. African drumming, night drumming. So, South Africa, they're on the lips, yeah. And we are saying, given that South Africa was the first country to carry Israeli go to the court, the world court. We have to give them a big round of applause for that. Yes, big round of applause. Them lead the fight for the Palestinians, them on the world stage. And why that happened is because they can remember when they were in the same position as the Palestinians with them land, and how the Dutch and all these people from Europe come over there, come rob, rape and thief the land from the South African people. So with that in mind, them rise up against Israel for the cause of the Palestinians and know that the same system that governed them years ago is the same system known as apartheid that Israel is now using in Palestine. But we must consider and we must understand, you know them say, fire there must stay, them think a cool breeze. We must remember that white people is just keeping, what them call it, keeping stepping in line with their intentions and that land them call South Africa, Azania as we call it. And they slowly but surely creeping into the capture mode. You have a brother named Malima. He was an ANC man one time, but him have him own party now. And him running at the election, I think him come like fourth behind Zuma party, where him say, one of him thing is if him go in power, him go and take back the land without compensation. Take back the land from the white people without compensation. I guess them afraid of that, because when a man get up so boldly and say, I'm going to take back the land without compensation, it's like Mugabe, where the side say, white people planting too much flowers on them land to send to Europe. Because the white people farm in Zimbabwe. It's farm, them have farm flowers and all sorts of little flowers for selling in Europe. It wasn't about feeding Africa, feeding Zimbabwe. And Mugabe, this time, they will take away the land from them without compensation, send them back where them come from. And he was vilified because of that. Chase him out of the Commonwealth of Nations, where him no mind. Him never mind it. But we have to take a stock and look at what's going on in Southern Africa. I mean, there are other places to look at. We can talk about Democratic Republic of the Congo. We can talk about Sudan. You know, all these places that is hot spot in Africa right now. where don't get much coverage, especially in the Sudan there, where thousands of people, refugees, is moving out, moving across, trying to find places to go. It's like a hell. You talk about Israel and Palestinians. You want to see the refugee crisis in South Sudan. Don't get much covered in the West, yeah. But it's a terrible thing going on in there, just like in the Congo. The Congo is one of them hot spots in the world right now, where England and America foot in the sink in a mud, them foot sink in a mud out and get stuck. It was some cement to make them foot stay there. And you have scrupulous African leader, the president of that country were right beside it there. And the man did come to Jamaica already too, the other day. Them hug him up and kiss him up. Rwanda. Big Rwanda. Them might help England and America to create havoc in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. We see it and we see it. We see it, we know it. It's not like we're idiot, we know it. The African, them have to know it like how we know it. Take a next break and come forward. Yes, we're there with the continent. We're supposed to interview Cathy Howell. You know, this month is Leonard Howell month. For those of you who don't know who Leonard Howell is, it's a shame you don't know. Leonard Howell was the man who rise up in Jamaica and tell the people that they must stop worship the King of England. Stop seeing him as them king. 1930, when Haile Selassie crowned, him realized, watch a man, we have a king. His name is Emperor Haile Selassie I, and it's him we should all look towards. For that he was jailed many times, then put him in a Bellevue many times. All sort of thing, mashed on him community in a upper Sligoville, near Sligoville. And it was self-sufficient, self-reliance. Leonard Howell set up Upper Pinnacle. Set it up. And again, the government of Jamaica, Bustamante, from them time there, attack Rasta. Yeah, man. From them time there, he attack Rasta. And even though them wasn't called Rastafari at the time, it was the Howellites, followers of Leonard Howell. Well, Leonard Howell declared Haile Selassie. I remember them used to walk around with pictures of Haile Selassie. Big picture to around them neck. Like you'd have put on a pendant. The picture them was pendant. Leonard Howell opened a floodgate of a group of people that is now known as the Rastafari movement. And it spread all over the world, not through any building, church building, school building, hospital building, but through the inspiration and the cultural expression of Rastafari. It spread all over. All over. And we're still there. We weren't supposed to there. We weren't supposed to there, but we're still there. Give thanks. And many come and many gone. Rastafari is still there. I trod and I talk about liberation for African people. And though some people turn it in a religion, It still manifests itself as a revolutionary force to be reckoned with by the establishment. And we continue that machine, we call propaganda machine, known as music, that is mostly used by the Rastafari movement to propagate them philosophy and opinions. Them cultural expression is very, very, very high on the agenda of cultural expression in the world. Not just in Jamaica, in the world. If you go to any festival in Europe, any festival, go in at the stall them. There's not one stall there that is not projecting something culturally Rastafari. Not one. So Rastafari has blazed a trail that cannot turn back, no matter what them do. No matter what them do, it can't turn back. We want to say all the interviews stay there. We were supposed to be interviewing. Not getting through yet, all right. So I'm going to go and play this by History Man. Very telling brethren this. The brethren, trust me, man, him come like an AI. Whenever talk about the biography of our national heroes and international heroes. Him have it to a key, to a part musically. Yes, Leonard Will. I don't know how much youth will take it up on himself right now and go find some information about that man. Because you see a group of people walking around the place and saying, Jah Rastafari. And them ear look funny. And them say them not eat certain food. And them hear them talk about Africa regular. Well, that man where you hear them call Leonard Howell is one of the men them who responsible for where I go and know as it relates to Rastafari and them worldview. Leonard Howell. Make that sink in your head. Leonard Howell. A man to know about, just like how you hear about Marcus Garvey. And you hear about other people. Leonard Howell is a man where most Jamaicans should have known about. Because one of the most influential cultural expression and musical expression come from out of the Rastafari community. Yes, the lyrics of reggae music is what caused reggae to spread all over the world, like how it spread. The Rastaman cultural expression, lax, is now something that is mimicked by people in Mexico, in Taiwan, Taiwan, Indonesia, India. Them have lax wig, influenced by the Rastafari movement. The idea of a vegetarian diet, according to what them call diet, wasn't invented by Rastafari, but the cultural expression of Rastafari spread it more than any other group you can find in the world. Even though a whole heap of people into vegetarian thing, but we give the world something greater than vegetarian. We get ital. Yeah, ital we call it. Very important. We take it further. And now we see so much places and people in the Western world is into this vegan, plant-based, lacto-vegetarian, all sort of things them call themselves. And this was influenced by the Rastafari movement. How much you ever hear about the book named The Promise Key? The Promise Key is a book where most one should have read who say them is Rasta. Because, you see man have the expression here right now. And also Leonard Howell didn't visit it. No, I never see it. I see certain man are going and I say Rasta this and Rasta that and say them a Rasta and all them way there. If you read The Promise Key, you realize that man there, whole heap of things, him say different. That's why a whole heap of the so-called elders say certain things and react certain way. And now me hear people call me elder. Me hear people call me elder. So we want to play this. We want to say this again, play it again. You said this weekend is the celebration of Leonard Howell's birthday. The man who come in at Jamaica and tell the people them say must let go off of the King of England. See, we have a king named Haile Selassie. We have him daughter upon the line here. Kathy Howell, good night.
Good night to you, my brother.
How you do? Long time I don't see or hear from you. I'm going to see you upon the internet. Pure internet business.
Well, it's technology. Lots of times people don't even try to make phone call anymore. All they do is sit on their phones and do text messages. But, that, our heart is in the right place. So,
all right. We notice that usually we get maybe a flyers or a thing about celebration up a Pinnacle. But I see a flyers come to me and the celebration is down at House of Dread, down at Diner Road.
Right. So let me just explain that and make it clear. Last year we actually had the celebration at Pinnacle, and we had a little problem with the it's not a little problem, actually. The tabernacle needs to be refurbished. Okay. And we were actually trying to get people to commit to come together and furbish the tabernacle, but it just wasn't able to get done for his Earth Strong this year. So this is the 26th Earth Day celebration, and it's going to be at House of Dread.
Yeah, that's beside behind Country Farm House.
Is that where it is? House of Dread behind Country Farm Road. Actually, it's 3 Dinner Road, Kingston 16.
Yeah.
And this is going to be on Sunday, the 16th of June. It starts at about 4 p.m. We're going to have guest speaker Dr. Michael Barnett, myself, Jack Tanash, and
Calamari Knife.
Right, a knife, right. We're also going to have some musical tribute to Leonard Howell, and we're going to have a couple culture artists and guests, people who are going to be there, special guests, artists going to be performing. Of course, we're going to have our Rasta drumming and chanting. So we're asking everyone to come out and celebrate with us.
So is anyone from Pinnacle will be there, drumming and thing?
Oh yes. Actually, we're trying to get the Owlites, the original Owlites offsprings, to come over also and do some drumming also there. So it's going to be a good, exciting time. So, each and everyone that's listening to my voice, please, show up. Just show up.
Yeah. All right. A whole heap of people talk about Leonard Howell. Leonard Howell wrote something. I was just talking about the Promise Key a while ago.
Yeah.
And I know I think Miguel did print it back. I don't know if it's still available. Is there a move afoot by the family to really get back a lot of these writings by Leonard Howell to the public?
Well, I'm glad you said that because we are definitely in conversation, trying to redo his book, The Promised Key, and there were other people out there that have asked me how they can, really get some of the books that's been written, and of course we also had a couple other people who have, wrote several books on Leonard Howell. So maybe at the celebration, we can probably, speak on that some more.
Yeah, I know a French lady do one.
Yes.
The first Rasta.
Right. Yes.
I don't think they need for going an e-book now. I mean, I was talking to your brother. I talked to him. I think me was in Cote d'Ivoire 1 year, and we was talking about the whole thing. But I don't see nothing, no movement towards really keeping Leonard Howell alive, as you should say.
Well, you mean keeping his legacy alive?
Yeah, apart from just a celebration every birthday, you know what I mean?
And that's true. That's true because Howell was a genius, and his vision was beyond its time. I know that I didn't even see him as an ordinary man because I know he had a burning his desire for black supremacy was just, awesome. And when he started, when he came back, to Jamaica in the 1930s on the coronation of His Imperial Majesty, he printed a black man as God, King Rastafari, saying, His Majesty is head over all man, for he is the supreme God. That the white, that the Caucasian did not like that. None of them didn't like that. And of course, many of my father's followers saw him as a man who was a counselor, preacher, and a defender of the faith of Rastafari. My father was Uncle Percy, brother, and many called him Gang. Some even say he had more than just word among the poor people. And many who know him as a hero. My father's greatest achievement was the way he had unite and centralize and organize the people there in Pinnacle. And for me, that was just really, really, really awesome. It just, come to the point where, I think that I am right now working towards getting parcels of those lots in Pinnacle to become a heritage site. And of course, the Leonard Howell Foundation is definitely agitating for, the internal repatriation or reparation for the original Rasta, them who call themselves the Howardites, who had lived in the estate of Pinnacle, and their offspring right now are living in a lot of deplorable condition and poverty. And I think that the government of Jamaica really need to do something. They have to go beyond just the 6 lots for reparation for the atrocity and the trauma that the Howardites endure, and even their children. And a simple apology is not even enough, and material compensation is not even enough. The government has just have to go beyond.
So the government did apologize for the breaking down of Pinnacle?
I think there was
they apologized for the Coral Garden thing.
I think it was something like Coral Gardens or something like that.
No, man, it's Pinnacle we are talking about,
Yeah.
Most of man to match it down same way,
Let me tell you something, Howell was the first to have the faith and courage to establish and purchase the estate of in St. Catherine, you know, and where the teaching of His Majesty, the King of Ethiopia, could put into practice and for the world to see. And, you know, Pinnacle is definitely, I mean, a model of Zion as far as I'm concerned, you know. Where
everything was growing up there.
Exactly, you know.
Shoes and mix, and some pattern them and all them. Yeah.
Where Pinnacle is really the heights of where you...
Hello? Our phone cut off?
No.
Oh, no cut off. We are going there, so she gone, she cut off. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, but Leonard Howell create a situation in a Pinnacle where self-reliance is what we call it now, where people are talking about self-reliance. It was like a city, like a town inside a city where them grow them own food, make them own clothes, and plant herbs. And man knows, say, well, boy, him can't go down to the market and sell certain things and things. And the unscrupulous behavior of the government, again, against the Rastafari movement, them go up, they go mash it down, and this, all of the Rasta them have to disperse. That is how Rasta reach down all Bakawal, what them call Bakawal. You know, it now called Tivoli Garden. You know, Rasta end up all a whole heap of place where Rasta never intend to go. Because the community was so established that man never did have to go out to go work. You see, because everything was up there. And we are talking about hundreds of people. We're not talking about a little organization, a little group. We are talking about hundreds of people was in Pinnacle in a them time there. And the government and the Bustaman to mash it down. That was one of the first mash down of Rastafari in Jamaica until 1963, 63, don't want to get the wrong name. 1 year after independence, them come again and start a thing against Rasta again in a St. James. So it's not like, say, Rasta never have things going. But once again, the government step in and broke with that cornerstone. That man a walk on road and them call you black heart man and them something. I whole heap of them black heart man is up a Pinnacle. But truth mash down them, they have to walk the street. You born will sing a tune about the black heart man. A very good description of what take place in a them time there. Man end up all in a Warwick Hill and all them place. Enough time, or we'll go to prison. Him go to prison, him go to Bellevue. I mean, you name it, him end up there. Because they must say I'm a madman. They must talk about the King Haile Selassie and don't praise the King of England. They must say King Haile Selassie. For a man to walk around a colonial country with a picture of a emperor from another country and know that this was a British state, British colony, and you are walking around with that emperor way over Ethiopia where nobody don't know. And I say, him, I tell the Jamaican people, say, him are the one. That could not work. Then they'll have to lock him up, sedition, madman. All sort of things them put on him. And look what happened now. Look what happened now. Them never kill it. Them kill the man, them never kill them ideas. Look what happened now. Without building. Without church building. Rastafari is the most widely known group of people that gave what we call the modern society as so now in the Western world. Yeah. It's like a primitive intellectual manifestation the Rastafari is. And without any classroom building and church building, it was able to spread the culture of Rastafari all over the world that all the picnic of the enemy end up about Rastafari. Very serious. You don't get her back yet? Them not get her back. Eh? So, but that's why you know, say, it's not no, when we talk about Leonard Howell, the youth, them should have got find the promise key. Find the promise key, man, and read it, and you realize, say, well, Leonard Howell writing at the promise key. I know where you see a whole heap of one run up and down now, say, my Rasta, I know that Leonard Howell is a deal with. You know, see it? It's not just be frivolously flashing your locks and, you know, I go on like some hippie. It's a more serious thing like that for a man where go to prison so much time. You know, I think I yet to warn him dead in a Sheraton hotel. What if I don't know Sheraton Hotel? Sheraton Hotel in Kingston. A man who used to follow Marcus Garvey. And we there so now are hold the fort. For much years we are hold the fort. We as Rastafari ones who they have to tell the tale and live out the tale too. Not just tell it, we are live it out. Because your Burning Spirit say one of them come, them couldn't live it out. Two of them come, them couldn't live it out. Burning Spirit say easy up and live it out. Yes, ma'am, you're back on the line?
Yes.
Ah, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. It seems something went wrong. I don't know.
Yes, it's all right, man. It's all right. We're still up on the year.
Right.
All right. So tell me something. What is the foundation doing now to preserve Leonard Howell legacy? What are they doing now? I guess you are the president of it.
Well, yeah. I'm one of the directors. Yeah. Well, I'm one of the chair. You know, there's me and my brother. That we're both two chairpersons of the LPH Foundation, and of course we have a director here in Jamaica, brother Michael Barnett, and a couple others. And I guess we really need to sort of call a meeting with the directors so we can at least, have a plan of action, because I have formulated an action plan as to what we were going to do with the lots when we, of course, when it's finally assigned to us up there in Pinnacle.
But what are you supposed to be assigned to us? Over years now, I mean.
Yeah, it has been a long time, but because what's been happening, we have an organization here in Jamaica called Millennium Council, and I think they're looking for governance over Pinnacle. So whenever they have something going on with the government and the government wants to do something for us, they come in and they object that, they want to know that the government is talking about monument and they're not into monument, and, they're just objecting for
so
things.
What you think they should do? They should just go on with the monument. What a monument supposed to do for the people them up there, though?
Well,
putting up a monument up there.
I don't think it's a monument, because Dr. Barnett and myself went into...
Hello? Well, she gone again, Shane? Wow, serious thing. I was just going to ask her, objecting to a monument. I would object to it too, because I don't know, putting up a monument up there don't help the situation. More than you can just look on the monument. We're talking about concrete, move, repair the damage that the government do to the people them who live up there and them children. Devastate the place up there and left the children of the people them who was devastated to look on a monument. No, sir. You want a stable thing that can help them physically. You know, see it? Up there. That's what you need. And it's them burn down the place. And disperse all of the people them with it up there. It's something we should have look on. You know what I mean? Monument is a good thing because monument remind you. But behind the memory must be a tangible situation that the people them can recognize and live every day. I want to play something from the Oilites. Yes, I want to play something from the Oilites. How it was in Pinnacle. Listen, this is the original Oilites.
So these are the chants that them had at Pinnacle at such time and even know and 7 more.
You have another prayer, the mother prayer. Oh, mother of creation, defend me against my enemy, and against all my enemies, visible and invisible, and deliver me from all evil. Give me grace to triumph over my adversary. All enemies fly at the sight of mother. She's the lioness of the tribe of Judah. She's the race of King David who was conquered. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Savior of this world, save and suffer me. Thou art purchased me by thy blood, O Mother, suffer me. I conjure thee, Mother, Holy Mother, strong Mother, merciful and immortal Mother, have pity upon me, oh Mother.
Yes, that is the Oilites singing about mother of creation. This is the cutting edge. We're going to take a break and come forward. Running from Babylon. Your Bob Marley say when him a big man, him stop run from police. Indelible music, running African, Jah Lewis. We just pay tribute to Leonard Howell in the first part of the program, you know. Because the man there, trust me, if your man rise up so much once, millions of ones from all different parts of the world, from little Jamaica, yeah, so it's a feat in itself, man. You have 12 tribes, one of the most known organization of Rastafari, 12 tribe of Israel. And in heights, in prime heights, whole heap of one all over the place, all over the world, used to declare themselves Israel with them red, gold, and green tam, and I try to claim tribal connection with the 12 tribes of Israel according to Genesis 49. And then after Brother God passed away, the rising up of the Bubble House rise up. And when you look on Kingston, a whole heap of the youth them start to wrap them head. And I say, Holy Manuel, you hear a whole heap of one start said, wrap them head and wear the robe, well identifiable. No, we hardly see that a go on. We hardly see that a go on. No ones that fly them locks. Only a man now start to fly them locks. All the man who used to wrap up him head. First time you would never see them locks, now them fly it. It's an evolution. Sometimes I wonder if the evolution will carry you down the pit. But the 12 tribe, what if I want, I myself I used to join 12 tribe. What if artists, Gregory Isaacs, not Gregory, you know Gregory Isaacs, Freddie McGregor, Judy Moore, Bob Marley, what if I want, why you love Jerry Small, one of the, what them call them now, the executive in the house. We used to call it house. But this virgin now, used to play enough when Jalove used to keep them dance. But want to play me so now. He was from the tribe of Dan. Yes, we're there with you. So sad that we couldn't get forward the lady, Cathy. The interview broke abruptly. But we're going to continue. We want you to listen to this. Listen to this. What?
The Catholic Pope enthroned kings, and kings protected the Catholic Church. Opposing the Catholic Church itself was rebelling against one's own country. The Pope wielded an absolute power. We can see just how powerful he was through one incident, the humiliation at Canossa. That happened during the time of Pope Gregory VII. Pope Gregory VII claimed that the Pope could not be judged by anyone on earth, and he could dethrone emperors and kings, and excommunicated Henry IV, the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, in the course of the investiture controversy. As Henry IV was faced with the crisis of being dethroned, he went to the Pope who was in Canossa. Barefoot, he knelt for 3 days in the snow, outside the castle of the Pope, and begged for his forgiveness. This is what is called the humiliation at Canossa incident. The Pope had so much authority that there was no one who was able to hold back the Church from abusing its power anywhere in Europe. Not only that, the popes committed numerous crimes such as murder, blasphemy, simony, and adultery to hold on to their seat of power. Not even fathom the evil deeds of the corrupt popes. Among them, Pope Leo X enjoyed works of art and collected masterpieces. He invited artists like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and Raphael to the Vatican and richly ornamented the church. Being driven by his vanity, he constructed St. Peter's Basilica. However, as he ran out of money by collecting costly works of art, he started to print a greater amount of indulgences. An indulgence is a certificate giving the forgiveness of sins. The Catholic priest propagated that people were guaranteed to enter the kingdom of heaven safer when they gave more money.
Come, see for yourself. This is not just a simple indulgence. Even though you don't do confession, all your sins will be forgiven. Even the sins of your relatives in purgatory will vanish. Will you just leave your mother to suffer in the fire? Come here, everyone. Come. When you drop the coins in the box and it makes a clinking sound, then the souls will arise from the fiery purgatory.
The sale of indulgence was one of the biggest businesses of the Catholic Church. Since indulgences was a good solution for those who were seized by the fear of hell, numerous people gathered to buy the kingdom of heaven. Giotto, the representative artist during medieval Europe, clearly shows the evils of indulgence in his work. The Last Judgment. In the painting, Jesus, the judge, is in the middle and the apostles are on both sides. Heaven is shown on the right and hell is shown on the left. One thing that is worthy of notice here is the scene where souls are weighed. A man who is on his knees presents a model of the chapel to three women. The name of the man is Enrico Scorveni. He was a notorious loan shark of that time. Because loan sharking was a big sin, he could never dream of entering the kingdom of heaven. However, even though Enrico was a loan shark, he bought indulgences and paid for his sins, and proudly purchased the ticket for the kingdom of heaven.
I want to know, say, I want real thing that, movie business, The Roman Catholic Church used to sell indulgence, meaning, say, if you do a whole heap of things terrible, and you feel so guilty, if you go to the Pope, you give him money, and he make sure so you get into heaven. That is what these people used to do, and them still do it too. Yeah, man, them say, if you want to go to heaven, man, no care what you do, just give them some money, Rasta, and them will get you into heaven, because them is the only one we have the telephone number to God. Yes, that is the church for you, the Roman Catholic Church we are talking about. Yes, here we go.
The revolution. When we start the revolution, all they probably do is squeal, but chill.
These things as they may, I will now start to present the documentation. Thousands of years before Adam and Eve. And we know that Adam and Eve is the allegorical characters in the Hebrew book, a book called Genesis. And in order to speak about Adam and Eve, we must then give Adam and Eve a date if we are to say that there were no people before or all people came subsequently, then we must establish a day for Adam and Eve. It is commonly stated in Western circles, particularly in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, that approximately 6,000 years ago, a god, the Jewish god Jehovah, and if you're Christian, then of course the Christian God Jesus the Christ, and obviously if you're Muslim, then it is the Muslim God Allah, created this world. Now that is difficult for me to understand when you consider that 6,000 years ago, my people along the Nile were doing engineering, science, law, medicine, and a host of other disciplines. Yet the world wasn't here yet. Now I do not know which world they were operating under. But then let us explore at who could have possibly brought about the concept of an Adam and Eve, since it is that it is only in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam you find these two allegorical characters. Since it is that we find it for the first time in the Hebrew Bible, or Jewish Bible, a Bible called the Chumash, or the Pentateuch, and such other name, as well as the Torah, otherwise called the 5 books of Moses, we would find that the Jews presented this for the first time to the world. We must then find who are the Jews that presented it, since all the Jews did not write it. The first time we are to have the Adam and Eve concept comes out of the Jewish intellectual circle, a system called the Sanhedrin, Sanhedrin. The Sanhedrin put out that book, or started to write that book, in approximately 700 BC, and completed it around 500 BC. The person to whom they gave credit for the story of bringing into the world the concept of Jehovah, the Jewish God, Yahweh, was a man called Avram, A-V-R-M, who changed his name to Abraham, assuming, we must assume, as he stated, that an angel of this God came to him while at state in a dream. You would find that all of the prophets got their messages by dreams. And all of the other writers got their state of information by dream. Not a solitary one being sober at the time and at a state of consciousness. But we find that Abraham was not born till approximately 1775 BC. This will put Abraham's birth sometime between the 13th dynastic period of the Africans of the Nile Valley. Meaning then, if we are to use the chronological data of most Western European writers, who gave the first dynastic period of Egypt anywhere from about 5000 BC to about 3100 BC, we will find then that at least the first dynasty of the Africans was at minimum more than 1500 years before the birth of the first Jew, Abraham. More so, that Abraham himself, based upon the Jews, along with his own parents, were worshiping an African goddess by the name of Hathor, symbolized by a cow with a sun disk between her horns. The sun disk symbolizing Amen-Ra, the god of the ancient Africans of the Nile, not only Egypt, Amen being the god of the north and Ra being the god of the south. When Nama, this African king, fought Scorpio, the other king, the king to the north, himself to the south, defeated Scorpio, joined the two states into one, making one Egypt, or the beginning of dynastic Egypt, that combination of the two states, bringing the two concepts of God, Amen and Ra, created for the Egyptians and others in that area a single unity, a single deity by the name of Amen Ra. Now, the Africans along the Nile, and in particular Egypt, had already worshipped a god by the name of Ptah, or Ptah, P-T-A-H. Ptah was the god prior to the first dynasty and the prominent god up until the third dynasty. Sometime around the third dynasty, we find that the ancient Africans of Egypt, otherwise called Egyptians today, introduced another god, and that was the god Amen Ra. Well, let us go farther. Along with the introduction of Ptah and Amen Ra were other sources of information relating to deity. One, it was at that time that the Africans revised their sacred book, their Bible, a book called the Book of the Coming Forth by Day and by Night, to which an Englishman by the name of Ernest A. Wallace Budge, in his translation from the hieratic writing, one of the most ancient writings today by the Africans, part of what is today called hieroglyph, Budge translating that did not take the literary translation of the title, but took one of these, we would say, titles that would draw attention and call it the Egyptian Book of the Dead. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, using Budge's description for it, we will find an important section. That section is called the Osirian Drama. Osiris was in the extology of the ancient Africans of the Nile, the god who was the direct son. This one should bring a lot of attention to most of you. The direct son of the god Amen Ra, or Ptah, depending on what period of time you're speaking about. Osiris was the god whose mother had him by a virgin birth, whose mother conceived him by an immaculate conception. I am speaking about 4,100 years before Jesus the Christ. May I repeat that because it may be difficult for many of you. I said that Osiris, the god I'm speaking about, who is sometimes said to be simultaneously Horus, and at other times the father of Horus. Irrespective, let us replace him with Horus, and he becomes the father of Horus. Therefore, what we have here is that the father Osiris, the son of the god Ptah, had a child who was supposedly conceived by his mother, the goddess Isis, and who gave birth to Horus by a virgin birth 4,100 years before Mary did the same thing again. Now this should be difficult to a lot of you born-again Christians, because you have been told that the first and only time that such a story was told was 1982 years ago. Let me not disappoint you further by saying that Jesus is the last of 16 such crucified saviors.
Yes, that is Ben Buchanan. You know, I remember him out twice before he passed away. All these books when write should be had by all the ones who are searching for the African origin of things. Ben Buchanan, Ethiopian virgin, who live in Harlem, passed away several years ago. Very important scholar. We ones and one should have read. Yes, read we are talking about, read. We are telling you, this is now midnight in Jamaica, 12 o'clock.
Brothers and sisters.
Yes. We'll continue with the Ben Buchanan schoolroom, you know. Yes. We'll continue with it.
The African who existed in history, and they say history is when a people begins to write. That starts their history. That means there is no history for Greece until Homer wrote the Iliad and the... There is no other written record in Europe until Homer wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Which was when?
833 before the Common Era. And Homer said in the Odyssey, quote, the gods Zeus and Apollo came from Ethiopia, unquote. Zeus and Apollo is known as Greece's first two gods. And Homer himself, the first Greek writer, said they came from Ethiopia. The Egyptian writer, Hunefer, Hunefer, in the papyrus of Hunefer, said, quote, we came from the beginning of the Nile, where God happy dwells at the foothills of the mountain of the moon, unquote. Secondly, when the Africans wrote and created writing, there was no God Jehovah yet, no Adam and Eve yet. The first Hebrew, Abraham, was not born. Abraham is not born until at best 1346 before the Common Era in the city of Ur in Chaldea. Chaldea is about where modern day Iraq, just south of it is, where the Tigris and Euphrates meet. Now, when Abraham was born is equivalent to the 13th dynasty, just around the time when a people called the Shepherd Kings, or Hyksos, invaded the northern part of this land, around the delta. And they did not come any further south than a place called Avarice. And they're still in the delta. For instance, Hyksos have never been this far. They have never been as far as Cairo. And Cairo is an old city. The oldest it could go back in Fustat. And it was made by the conquerors during the time of Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali wasn't even an Arab. He was an Albanian who took on the name Muhammad Ali. Now, when he converted to Islam to get the throne. If we go back further, not a single Hebrew was in this land until then, unless he was astray. There was no a single nation. There was nobody named Abraham. Abraham's mother and father did not follow what we call Judaism today. Terah, his father, worshipped an African woman. An African woman you will see right across here, called Hathor. H-A-T-H-A-O, that's the Western spelling. The correct name is Het-Heru, H-E-T-H-E-R-O. You will see her and the funerary temple of Queen Makari Hatshepsut. She is sewn as a cow. And when she is sewn as a woman, is an African woman with cow's ears. The best place you will see her is at a temple dedicated solely to her at a place called Dendera. Then you will see thousands of faces of her, especially in the hypostyle hall. The Hebrews in the first book, the book called Genesis, which means first, they showed that Abraham worshipped the golden calf. India call him the sacred cow. But the golden calf is nothing else but goddess Hathor. Now, that's the 13th dynasty. If we go back to find out all that was done by the time of the 13th dynasty here, before the first Asian, there is no European history then. The Etruscans, the first of European, along with the people of Perth, which later became the Romans and the Greeks, are not in history then. That don't say they don't exist, but there are no records of them. There's no record of an Adam or an Eve. Then no God, no Jehovah, no Jesus, no Allah. Then.
But the Africans were already...
but African got Ptah. I'm going at random. I could keep knock them off. Let me go. Since African God had goddesses, I mean, they weren't eunuchs or anything like that. So the Africans had Ptah, right? They had Nut. They had Osiris. They had Isis. And by the way, I could use the proper name. When I say Osiris, they had Asaru. When I say Isis, they had Aset. They had his son, the Trinity. They had Asaru's son, Heru or Horus, born of an immaculate concepted mother. He himself born of a virgin birth, which you can see the story at the temple of Setai I at a place called Abydos. And Setai I was a king, a 19th dynasty king. The Africans equally had numerous other goddesses and gods.
Cutting-edge university. In the night, get your matchstick and hold up your eye, and keep your brains alert. Music is not the only thing. You see, Ben, you can verify what I say, It's not, I'm not just talk, you can verify it. You might talk about Egypt and the walls, and the pyramid. If you go to Egypt, you see exactly what I say. When him say the allegories of these people where you talk about in the Bible, and him show you say the allegory of Adam and Eve is just allegories. It have nothing to do with history. We're going to come forward. Dennis Brown, Heine Camus, and yours truly, great kings of Africa. Yeah, man. We are explorer. Because we know say Rastafari bring me right, Rastafari bring me. And I could have never been ungrateful. Because if it wasn't Rasta, I wouldn't explore so much things. I wouldn't have that confidence in myself. As Marcus Garvey said, confidence in yourself is the greatest thing, man. When you know where you do, and you don't blink, and you don't become no statue and nobody footstool. You just continue the journey straight, like an arrow. You just straight. You know, lean and bend. Because that is the way of the truth and the understanding of yourself. When you take in everything, but don't keep all the things that you take in. Because you have your mouth and you have your bottom. So a man will take in everything, but him let out a whole heap of things, and a whole heap of things stay in him and becomes part of him. So we have to understand that. You read, you look, you listen, you pay attention, and in all of that, you must come out a better person. You study and imagine, because the greatest thing you have is the imagination, Your imagination carry you go anywhere. And you can do anything in your imagination. So when we say Africa, great kings of Africa, we don't talk about great Bible heroes. We talk about African people who actually live on earth. not in no delusion and illusion and confusion. When we say Africa is a real place, when I was a youth and I hear about Egypt, I never know that it was real. I think it was somewhere in the sky. Again, for understand, so geographically, Egypt is a place where give birth to a whole heap of the concepts that now form religion. Whole heap of the concepts that now form religion come out of Egypt. We're going to take a break and come forward. Yes, we're there with you. We're going to the university, Cutting Edge University, going to the archives, and we'll come up with a one here. Listen.
Can I teach you? Yes. I'm asking your permission now. Yes. Can I teach you? And the reason why I'm asking can I teach you is because in order for me to teach you, I have to say something to you that you don't already know. Are we clear? Because if I'm only saying what you already know, then I'm not teaching you anything. You're not learning and I'm not teaching. All right, y'all ready? Minister Stewart, if you will get for me on this day in particular, 1 Corinthians, excuse me, the 15th chapter, the 14th verse. Let's read one of the most powerful verses in the Bible. It is also one of the most dangerous verses in the Bible. It's a verse in the Bible that most Christians don't even know is there. It's 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, the 14th verse. What does it say, Minister Stewart?
And if Christ be not risen, then is our preaching vain, and your faith is also vain.
All right. Everybody repeat after me. If Christ be not risen. Now it's interesting, that's the subject for today, by the way. If Christ be not risen. If Christ be not risen, our preaching is vain, and your faith is also vain. If you allow me to transliterate that, what it's actually saying is this: if Jesus did not really get up out the grave, this whole thing is a lie. Y'all got that? If Jesus did not get up out the grave, this whole thing is a lie. Wow. Okay, we got a problem. We got a big problem. Let me tell you right now at the top of the story, Jesus did not get up out the grave. Okay? I know that was like hitting some people in the face with a sledgehammer. And I got news for y'all, for those of you who have a problem with what I just said. If you can prove in any way whatsoever with validity that he did get up out the grave, I put the same challenge out I've always put out. I'll pay all your living expenses from now to the day I die. If you can validate the resurrection of a so-called Jesus Christ, I will pay, I'm putting this out to the whole world, I will pay all y'all's living expenses from now to the day I die. To my friends who I grew up with, who are really disturbed with me right about now, and who listen to me in secret, I'm talking to y'all too. Okay? Can we look at some contradictions? Let me ask y'all a question. How many contradictions do you need before you understand that something is fallible or there's a fallacy to it? How many contradictions do you need? Everybody got one finger up. Good. Let's find a contradiction right quick. Okay, now let's look at the Bible. Those of you who don't have your Bible, just listen real carefully. But if you will, let's go to the book of John, Minister Stewart. 20th chapter of John. Everybody say this with me. Repeat after me. The gospel according to John, is a forgery. I hope y'all don't mind me just coming raw today, but I'm not feeling the best, so I ain't got time to be beating around the bush, okay? But believe me when I tell you, if you can invalidate what I'm saying, I promise you, I will pay all your living expenses. 20th chapter of John, before we read about the resurrection account, I told y'all the book of John was a forgery. Any scholar, any second-year Bible college student will tell you that the book of John was added into the Bible centuries after all these other so-called books. And it had to be added for a particular reason. What was that reason? John, the 30th verse, Minister Stewart, verse 30 and 31. What does it say?
And many other signs truly did Jesus in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book.
Meaning in the book of John, not in the Bible, in the book of John. Now notice the 31st verse. The 31st verse actually tells you why they compiled the gospel according to John and put it in the Bible. It actually tells you why they did it. A lot of people look right over this. It actually tells you why they actually made this book up and put it in the Bible. What does 31st verse say?
But these are written.
These, or this book was written, why?
That ye might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God.
Did y'all get that? It's right there in black and white. They're actually telling you the reason why this was written is so that you might believe, not that you would know, but that you might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. And that's what has controlled our thinking. Now, keep in mind what she just said, and now you'll understand why I coined this phrase. Repeat this after me. He who controls the printed page controls the thinking of the age. Did y'all get that? In other words, the European historiography is what controls the thinking of the masses. They wrote it and told you it came from God, and you believed it, and they're controlling you like a dog on a leash. Now, let's go to the first verse of the 20th chapter. Let's talk about this so-called Resurrection Sunday. Go ahead, Minister Stewart.
Verse 1?
Yes.
The first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early.
Cometh who?
Mary Magdalene.
And who else? There's nobody else there but Mary Magdalene, right? By the way, this is supposed to be the woman that Jesus married, by the way. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, he didn't either. You got this lie. You done elevated the lie so high that any challenge to make you think about the lie, you get angry with the person who's making you think. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So, the first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene. Go ahead, Minister Stewart. Now, mind you, according to this verse we just read, only Mary Magdalene was there. Mary Magdalene didn't say nobody else, right? Okay, and then it goes on to say, while it was yet dark. Isn't that what it says? Now I want you to keep these points in mind. One person came to the tomb and it was still dark. Go ahead.
Unto the sepulchre, and seeing the stone taken away from the sepulchre. Then she runneth, and coming to Simon Peter, and to the other disciple
Now, according to what she's reading so far, one woman came to the tomb while it was still dark. The sun had not come up yet. And when she saw that the stone was rolled away, she did not go inside. She saw the stone was rolled away, and she immediately took off running and went and told other brothers what happened. Right? Go ahead.
And said unto them, they have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre.
She didn't say he's risen. She did not say he is risen. She said they stole him. Somebody stole his body. You got me? Okay, go ahead.
And we know not where they have laid him.
Okay, and they don't know where he is. Go ahead.
Peter therefore went forth, and that other disciple, and came to the sepulchre. So they ran both together.
Here come Peter and some other disciple. They're going to come running to the tomb. Go ahead.
And the other disciple did outrun Peter.
Whoever this other disciple is, he was so angry about this that he outran Peter. He got there first. Are y'all seeing this here? See, you know, really, when you really just take your time and read this like we're doing right now, you see how stupid it is. But we didn't take our time and read this. We just heard, he got up. With all power in his hand. Go ahead, read this story.
And he stooping down and looking in, saw the linen clothes lying, yet went he not in.
So the first dude that got there looked into the tomb and he saw that the clothes that he was wrapped in was there, but there was no body. Go ahead.
Then comes Simon Peter following him and went into the sepulchre.
I can see Simon Peter like, man, I didn't know you could run so fast, man. Ain't nobody in there. Got the picture? Okay, go ahead.
And seeing the linen clothes lying, and the napkin that was about his head, not lying with the linen clothes,
go ahead,
wrapped together in a place by itself.
Continue.
Then went in also that other disciple, which came first to the sepulchre, and he saw and believed.
Believed what? What did he believe? It wasn't nothing to believe. What he was told was somebody stole the body. You got me? So what is he believing? Go ahead. Oh, I know what I just heard a preacher talk. He believed what the Lord had said before. You know the Lord did say that he was going to get up on the third day. So that's what he believed in, okay. Go ahead.
Verse 9, for as yet they knew not the scripture, that he must rise again from the dead.
Uh-oh, that just cancels out what I just said, now don't it?
Then the disciples went away again unto their own home.
Now that's some deep stuff. Check this out. They went home. They came, saw the body had been stolen, and they went home. Oh, well. It's a wrap. They done stole him. We don't know where he is, so ain't nothing we can do about it. It's all over with. Let's go on home. Let's go get a beer, brother. Come on, man. Got this? But his woman didn't take it so easily. What is it going to say?
But Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping.
The brothers said, let's go, man. Let's go. Hey, come on, man. Ain't none of us hanging around here. Let's go on home. Ain't nothing we can do about this. It's over. You know how the brothers are. See, brothers here, you know, hey, man, hey. Dude ain't here, so let's go, you know. But Mary stood there having a fit, crying.
And
go ahead.
She wept. She stooped down and looked into the sepulchre.
Now she decides to finally take a look in. When she first got there, the stone was gone. She took off running. Now she decides to look in, right? Okay.
And see 2 angels in white sitting.
I love how they always have angels dressed in white. Sitting. One at the head, go ahead.
One at the head and the other at the feet.
Yes.
Where the body of Jesus had lain.
Yes.
And they said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou?
Why are you crying?
She said unto them, Because they have taken away my Lord.
Because somebody stole his body.
And I know not where they have laid him.
Okay.
And when she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Jesus standing.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
And knew not that it was Jesus.
Now this is her man.
She didn't know who it was.
This is her man, right? Okay. She turned around and saw this dude standing there. Okay. And she didn't know it was her husband. Go ahead.
Jesus said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou?
Now, why are you going to ask these dumb questions? Okay, I mean, who else would I be looking for? Okay, you know, who wasn't you laying in here? Go ahead.
She, supposing him to be the gardener, said unto him,
How do you confuse your man with the gardener, the caretaker of the cemetery? Go ahead. Y'all relax there. Y'all relax. Go ahead.
She supposed him to be the gardener, said unto him, Sir, if thou have borne him hence, tell me where thou hast laid him, and I will take him away.
Yes.
Jesus said unto her, Mary. She turned herself and said unto him, Rabbi.
Rabboni. Yes.
Which is to say, Master.
Now this is deep. He just asked her a question. Woman, why are you crying? Who are you looking for? And she thought he was the gardener. Now he says to her, Mary. And now she knows who it is. Maybe nobody could say Mary like you do. You might have had a Barry White kind of voice. Now check how deep this gets. Now go ahead.
Jesus said unto her, Touch me not.
Okay, now check this out. This is deep. This is important. This is important evidence in this case. Can we take this to court?
Yes.
She recognizes this is my man. And she gets ready to put her arms around her man. And he said, don't touch me. Can't touch me. Why can't she touch him?
For I am not yet ascended to my Father.
Don't touch me because I haven't ascended to the Father yet. In other words, like if you touch me, there's so much glory over me, there's so much power over me, there's so much divinity in me right now that if you touch me, you won't be able to handle it. Don't touch me, God, and sins and Father, but do what?
But go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God.
Go tell the brothers that you've seen me, and I'm getting ready to ascend to the Father in heaven. This is the concepts that we have in our mind. Y'all got those facts there? All right, now let's compare. Turn to Matthew. Verse 1. You remember the facts of the first presentation, right? Okay. I asked y'all, how many contradictions do you need before you know something is not right. Everybody held up one finger. All right, let's read Matthew 28, verse 1.
In the end of the Sabbath.
In the end of the Sabbath.
As it began to dawn towards the first day of the week.
As it began to dawn. Now, what did the first account say? While it was still dark. Right? Okay. The sun is coming up now. Go ahead.
Came Mary Magdalene.
Came Mary Magdalene.
And the other Mary.
Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Whoa. I just asked you in the first account. Mary Magdalene and who else? And there was nobody else. So now, Jesus' other woman is coming along with Mary Magdalene.
And behold, there was a great earthquake.
Oh, now we got an earthquake, okay.
And the angel of the Lord descended from heaven.
Now mind you, in the first account, okay, there was nobody seen at first. She came and saw the stone had rolled away and took off running. Got the brothers, they came back and looked in the tomb and they saw two angels dressed in white inside the tomb. Now here, these two women, okay, which really are Isis and Nephthys in ancient Kemetic thought. That's where this whole thing's stolen from in the first place. Y'all get me? Here we got an earthquake and the angel of the Lord descended from heaven. Go ahead.
And came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it.
Now, this is some deep stuff because now these two women here, and they actually see the angel of the Lord coming down because the stone is still got the tomb sealed, and the angel comes down and he rolls back the stone and sits on top of the stone. Go ahead.
His countenance was like lightning.
His countenance, yes.
And his raiment white as snow.
Yes. And
for fear of him, the keepers did shake and became as dead.
In other words, the caretakers in the cemetery, these are men now, saw this being of light sitting on top of this stone. Y'all bear with me as I talk this stupidity for a moment, will you? Because it's so stupid, I'm getting frustrated talking about it. But I want y'all to see how confused we are and the mess that we've been believing and got us messed up here. So you can go share it. Go tell your family, you know what? This brother said some stuff to me that I've never thought about before. Let me share with y'all right from the Bible what he shared with me so y'all can stop believing this dumb stuff. This being sitting on top of the stone, the caretakers who were brothers, men, got scared. And not only did they get scared, they got so scared that they passed out. Fainted. That's what it means they became as dead men. They fainted. Go ahead, 5th verse.
And the angel answered and said unto the woman, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified.
Oh, this is deep now. This angel did not ask, who are you seeking? I know why y'all are here. Don't be afraid. Y'all looking for Jesus, who was crucified. Now, this is some deep stuff. He is not here. For he is risen. As he said. Everybody ask yourself this question. Say with me. When did he get out of the tomb? Because the stone was still there when the ladies got there. See, I done dropped the case already. According to what we just read, the angel came down and rolled the stone away. Right? So where did he go? How did he get out of the tomb? It was still sealed. Now, you know what most church folks say? I can hear it right now. I hear them saying it. Well, ain't nothing too hard for God. Ain't nothing too hard for God. He was God. He could get out without rolling the stone away. Come on, people. Y'all see how we made the thinking? Read quickly.
Come see the place where the Lord lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead.
Yes.
And behold, he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall you see him. Lo, I have told you.
Now wait a minute. we just read that Jesus talked to Mary in the tomb. Now we're reading, he done left y'all, he already on his way into Galilee. So go tell the disciples that that's where he's going to be. Read.
And they departed quickly from the sepulchre with fear and great joy, and did run to bring his disciples word.
Now repeat after me. They left the tomb with fear and great joy, and told his disciples what they had seen. Remember that. Remember that. 9th verse, go ahead.
And as they went to tell his disciples, behold, Jesus met them, saying, all hail. And they came and held him by the feet and worshipped him. Then said Jesus unto them, be not afraid. Go tell my brethren that they go into Galilee, and there shall they see me.
Let's go and take a break and come forward.
The time on IRI FM is...
The time is 1 o'clock. Here we go back. Yeah.
Go into Galilee, and there shall they see me.
Okay, for the sake of time, let's move forward. Go to Mark now. And let's see how this lie comes out. Mark 16. Verse 1.
And when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Salome, had bought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him.
Oh, so now they're telling us the reason why they came. Here's the problem. You see, that wasn't an uncommon thing to go, and because it was a rush ceremony, so they're going to take spices and wrap, anoint the spices to help get rid of the bad odor, because they didn't have embalming fluid back then. Got what I'm saying? So they're going to anoint him with the spices and everything so his body's not stinking and da-da-da-da-da. But the problem is, why are you going to the tomb to anoint him when the tomb was sealed? Just like today when they lower the casket in the grave and then they put him in what they call a vault, and then they put the big cement top on the vault right there in front of you, okay, and you know it's there. Why are you going to go back and try to do something to the body? That doesn't make any sense. Read.
And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun.
Okay, now the sun is coming up. Go ahead.
And they said among themselves, who shall roll us away the stone from the door of the tomb?
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Everybody say poor planning. Poor planning. You coming to anoint this body, but the tomb is sealed. So on your way to the tomb, you're asking yourself the question, who gonna roll the stone away for us? Go ahead.
And when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away.
Yes, go ahead.
It was very great.
Yes.
And entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment.
Okay.
And they were affrighted.
Okay.
And he said unto them, be not affrighted. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was crucified.
Mm-hmm.
He is risen. He is not here.
Okay.
Behold the place where they laid him.
Okay.
But go your way. Tell his disciples and Peter that he goeth before you into Galilee.
Mm-hmm.
There shall you see him as he said unto you.
Now check out this 8th verse. As I state my case. What does it say?
And they went out quickly and fled from the sepulchre.
They went out quickly and ran from the tomb.
For they trembled and were amazed.
For they trembled and were amazed. Now here is the line that says you have to throw this thing out of court. What does it say?
Neither said they anything to any man, for they were afraid.
Did y'all miss that? Look at somebody next to you and said, according to the Bible, they did not tell anybody. Now look back at the same person and said, according to the Bible, they told the won't even stand up in your own mind. Now, what's really interesting here is verse 9 through 18, or 9 through 20, goes on to talk about what happened thereafter. But the problem is, verses 9 through 20 were added into the Bible after the book of John was added into the Bible. If you look at verses 9 through 20, if you guys got a red letter edition of the Bible, it's supposed to be the words of Jesus. Right? How did Jesus say all this if it was added into the Bible? I just presented some stuff to y'all that pretty much invalidates the validity of a so-called resurrection. Brothers and sisters, on this day, we need to understand that we need to exercise common sense. The Roman Catholic Church for almost 2,000 years has taught that Jesus was crucified, died, and was bodily resurrected. Not just spiritually resurrected. Bodily resurrected means he returned to life in his original body that was supposedly put into the ground 3 days later. This is what's been taught, man. This has been long the foundational belief, not knowledge, but belief of Christian people. And it's something about believing in this thing that does not make sense that gives them a sense of glory and happiness and empowerment. It doesn't make sense, but you believe in it, along with the virgin birth, that this woman had a baby without a man helping her. Atonement, that because he shed his blood, that all your sins are paid for. And the second and future coming of Jesus. Jesus did not get up out the grave, period. So since he didn't get up out the grave, yes, the whole thing y'all been practicing is a lie. Yes, I'm sorry to be the one to hurt your feelings like this. Your mama should have told you better. She didn't know any better. My mama didn't know any better. But now that I know better, my job is to tear down the lie that has been given to us, that's been designed to hold us back. Are y'all grabbing what I'm saying? I know it's not going to make me popular. I don't care about that. I care about you being free, black people. Man, shoot. Get rid of this sickness. Because as long as you have this sickness in your head, now I'm talking really to those who are watching, many of you here, unless you are a visitor today and don't know any better, as long as you carry this sickness in your head, you will not do one thing to bring change in our society. And the reason why you won't do anything is because you're waiting on the Lord to do it. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You've already decided that this world ain't your home anyway. You just a stranger passing through. Your home is in glory. That's where you're going. Well, it's really deep, y'all, because there was a time that I heard a woman, the first person I think I remember really hearing say that, her name was Alice Walker. And when she first said that, she was a fairly young woman. She was my great-grandmother. And she was in her 60s, I think, when I first heard her say that. Well, it's deep because Mother Alice Walker was waiting on the Lord to come back. She was excited and got happy over the fact that he's on his way back. That was her favorite line. You know he's on his way back. He's on his way back. I was a little boy at that time. I am now 58 years old, and he hasn't gotten here yet. Mother Alice Walker is dead and gone. Her children are dead and gone. You follow what I'm saying? Her grandchildren, some of them are dead and gone. Her great-grandson said, hell, I ain't going through that. I'm going to tell y'all something differently. I'm going to tell you he ain't coming back. So once you understand he ain't coming back, maybe you'll get up off your behind and realize that the only way change and improvement is going to come in your life, in your community, in your neighborhood, is if you get up and do something about it. Am I making sense?
Yes, the whole of we have to believe it. And we don't know it. We said time and time. Hey, that brother that we just talk named Ray Higgins. We had him in the studio. I reckon bring him up to the Marcus Garvey tribute. We have him in the studio the whole night. I talk on topic as it relates to Christianity. You know, very interesting and important that we hear the other side of the story. Because on one side they're not working. It has not been working. It has not been working. And there is a truth. We need to find it. We need to find it. Because things mess up. And part of the messing up is from those stories that we get taught when we was going to school and Sunday school and church, and then perpetuate the same madness in the church from them time until now. And I tell you about, there's a man that is in the sky, that him dead, and him going to come back. Him flesh never see corruption, that means the same flesh. Him would have on the same clothes too. Terrible thing. Terrible, terrible thing.
Well, my people, we have made it to the end. Give thanks to the ones and ones who made it this far. You know, it was a great program. Yeah, man, so much to learn. So much. But let me know what you think about this one down in the comment section. And before we go, you know, it's a Black Power movement. So definitely drop a like and subscribe. Share to a friend or a family so they can be a part of the movement. And I'll catch you tomorrow on the Stepping Razor.